Hi, and welcome to Out in the Clouds. Thank you for choosing us as your preferred partner for your next Salesforce project. Here at Out in the Clouds, we firmly believe that you need to plan to succeed. And as part of our engagement, we have something called scoping that we need to run through. So what's scoping? Scoping involves Out in the Clouds, that's us, getting a clear understanding of your business process as part of this project. It involves us documenting everything that we need to as part of the project, so that way there's a clear understanding of exactly what's being delivered, and it also gives us the opportunity to ensure that we marry your business process with the technology available. So, how can you prepare for these scoping sessions? Now, based on the type of project you're running, the scoping sessions might differ a little bit. As an example, if you are running a project that involves your sales team, then the best place to start is to start documenting how exactly the business acquires leads, all the different channels, and what your current sales process is within the business. If you are running a service or a support project for your customer service team, it's very important that you start documenting all the different channels and the expectations that the support team has when it comes to customers reaching out to them. And of course, what that process looks like. Now, you can do this by either documenting it based on points where you've got everything essentially brainstormed, or alternatively, you can start to create a process flow or a flow chart that dictates exactly what happens with your processes from end to end. These could end up being small processes or very, very large processes all put together. However, the important thing to remember is to ensure that you make any notes that are very important and critical to the business, especially around what needs to happen at certain points within your process, and also what important data that you need to collect to ensure, one, you can report on that data going forward in the business, and two, you have that data there so that it can be used for things like automations and marketing in the future. So, what do you need to bring to one of these sessions? So as part of this, you might have multiple sessions. So my recommendation is to go ahead and share anything that you've already created around your business process and share it well in advance with us. Alternatively, you can go ahead and bring that with you on the day of the session. Now, in addition to that documentation, I highly recommend that you put together a set of notes that include any pain points or anything that the business has been trying to do as part of your business process, however, has been struggling with. This will allow us to ensure that we take everything into consideration as part of those scoping sessions, and we can have a genuine discussion about what is the best solution within Salesforce and what we can build for you to ensure those pain points are no longer there in the business going forward. No matter what Salesforce instance you have, the set of objects that we're currently going to walk through will allow you to understand what are the bare minimum or the basic items that your organization's most likely going to use in Salesforce. So the first one that we've got is leads. So on here, we've got an example of a lead record. Up the top, you can see there is a status field that allows you to see where this particular lead is from a qualification process. Now, leads in Salesforce are predominantly used to qualify someone to make sure that one, that particular inquiry is legit, and two, to ensure that this particular person's not wasting your time. And that way you can focus on the right customer. So in here on the lead, as an example, we have got a number of fields that we require. So as a default, the last name on the lead is always required. And of course, the lead status. Based on whether you are a business to business organization or whether you deal with end consumers, will dictate and determine if you need something like a company field to be able to record that information as well as part of your lead. Now, there are some fields in here that are in fact standard, like the phone number, email, lead status, lead source, first name, last name, and title. And as we scroll down, you'll notice there is a new section down here where we've gone ahead and created some custom fields that allow us to record this information that is business specific. And what I mean by that is this is the information as part of your business process that you'd like to go ahead and collect, either when someone's making an inquiry on your website or whether they're making an inquiry in person. As we scroll further down, you've also got address fields in here, and these come as standard out of the box. And it does in fact leverage off Google's address search, which allows you to search for addresses. As we scroll further down, we've got a set of additional custom fields that we also record, and all of this is dependent on your organization. In addition to the lead, once someone is qualified, you then go ahead and convert them into either an account with an opportunity, or it could be a person account with an opportunity. Now, you'd use a person account if you were dealing with B2C in that aspect, where you're actually dealing with the end consumer and not a business. So if we were to have a look at the account information in here, I've got an example of an account. And if we just click on the edit page and have a look, all the fields that you see up the top are in fact standard fields, like the account name, the phone number, the fax, the website. And as we scroll further down, we've got some customized fields in here. As an example, we've got some breadwinner fields, which is a third-party application that allows you to reconcile things in real time from an accounting system like Xero or QuickBooks. And as we scroll further down, you've also got some address information. Now, to the account, if we click on this related list, this is essentially like your 360 view of the customer. You'll be able to see all the relevant contacts. You'll be able to see all the relevant opportunities. If there are any cases, which we'll come to in a second, related to that customer, if there are any partners that you're dealing with, if there are any files and things like that associated to that account, all of those show up here in this particular 360 view. And this is again dependent on how complex your org is and how complex the Salesforce build required for your sales process or your support process. And of course, that'll dictate how complex your 360 view ends up being on the account. If we then have a look at contacts as well that get created, when it comes to contacts, again, we've got some mandatory fields, and of course, those are marked with a red asterisk. Anything in here is a required or a mandatory field if it is with a red asterisk. And as you can see on the contact piece, we're recording some high-level information in here around the contact details of that particular person, the mailing address, and of course, any other details that are deemed necessary or important as part of your business process. In addition to the contact and the account, when you convert a lead, it will go ahead and create an opportunity. Now, an opportunity is an on-flow effect of your original lead qualification piece. And again, you will notice that the opportunity, just like the lead, has a path that you can follow. It's either a stage or a status path. And again, how many stages or statuses exist in an opportunity are solely dependent on your sales process. So we completely customize this based on the number of checkpoints that exist within your sales process. Now, on the opportunity, it's actually quite important that you consider all the data that needs to be recorded. The opportunity is the deal that you're actually working on. So in here, there are a set of mandatory fields that are out of the box that the system absolutely requires. Things like the opportunity name. So a customer might have multiple opportunities. So giving it a name allows the sales agent to understand what this particular opportunity is. In addition to that, we've also got the close date that helps you forecast when revenue is going to come in. The close date is supposed to be the date the deal closes. You've then, of course, got your stages down here, which are actually representative of the path up the top. And then you've got your amount field. That's quite important because that allows you to understand what the revenue value for this particular opportunity is. And again, as we scroll down, there are a number of custom fields, and all of these custom fields have been built based on the business requirement. And again, yours will look quite different, but I'd highly recommend that you think about what information you need to record, because this information allows you to create some segmentation. And in addition to that, if you're using things like date fields or you've got a certain business process that requires some automation, we need a value or an identifier on the opportunity, which is your sales process, to denote what that is, when it gets fired off, and when an automation, a notification, or a task is created. Now, to opportunities, it's very important around contact roles, where you go ahead and list all the people involved in that particular deal. And then, of course, it's quite important to list a set of products as well. As part of this example, we don't have a list of products. This is just the discovery stage. But as you progress along, if you are selling a particular product or a service, it's quite important to add that in here, as that will allow you to run reports on exactly what was sold as well and how much of each. Now, finally, not every single business might use this, but it's called cases. So cases, the best way to think about it, it is a support process that happens as part of your business. This could certainly happen post a sale, or depending on what your business model is. If you are quite heavily focused on service, then this case piece might come into play before that. However, in a very similar fashion to leads, accounts, contacts, and opportunities, on cases, there are a set of mandatory fields that are required by the system, so that way you can save and create these records. Now, cases can come into the system just like leads through something called web to lead, web to case. But in addition to that, cases can also be received by Salesforce via a dedicated email address. And to cases, of course, it allows you to have a history, and it allows you to reply back as well from cases directly from Salesforce. However, it can be as simple as updating your statuses based on your support cycle to keep something new or just closed, or you might have a range of additional statuses that'll allow you to identify where within the support process, or where within your support process, the case is sitting, how long it's been sitting in there for. I hope as part of this, you're able to understand and look at a number of items that are actually default out of the box in Salesforce. The reason we're doing this is it's quite important for anyone that's attending these scoping sessions to think about what information needs to be recorded on these particular objects inside the Salesforce database. But in addition to that, it allows us to set the right expectations and ensure that all the information relevant to your business processes are captured in a seamless way. And that'll also benefit the business at the end of it, when the business is trying to report on all of these particular processes and their outcomes. So what's the way forward? As part of this, ensure that you watch this video end to end. And if something doesn't make sense, ask plenty of questions. There is no question that is stupid or dumb or unwanted. Please ensure you have everything clarified at that point, because from that point on, it's going to ensure that we have the least amount of assumptions and ensures the process going forward is smooth. And of course, finally, don't forget to ensure that you get excited about the change, because as part of these improvements that we're talking about during these scoping sessions, they will in fact impact your business on some level. So preparing yourself for that change and being excited is definitely going to ensure that at the end of it, this project is successful. And finally, I just want to thank you so much for watching this, and don't hesitate to reach out to us. If there's anything that we can clarify between now and our scoping session, please ensure you reach out to either a sales representative here at Out in the Clouds or to a Salesforce solution consultant like myself. Thanks. Enjoy the rest of your day.